So you could see the road was flooded, but you continued anyway.
Okay, so there exists a couple, and they are on a road trip. It is currently nighttime. So they don't know where they're going, this is a new place for them. But they're in the best car in the world, so it's a wife and a husband, but then also, as we all know, the GPS. Now, GPS is directing them, okay, in 400 meters, turn right. So they're following it, blah, 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 as we all do these days. And then, before they take the corner, they noticed, oh my gosh, there is a lot of water here. I don't know if this is actually safe. We've got the best car in the world, but I don't know if we're gonna make it through a lake. The wife says, no, turn around, stop, we can't, don't do that. However, the husband is like, but the GPS says it's fine, it should know, it's got Google data, this lake did not appear in a day. So, after a little bit of a spat, they continue to the water. Oh, they also lost their tire. Let's pretend that didn't happen. And they get to the water, and then, as you all know, they can't get through, they're stuck, and they have a terrible night. But, was that because they gave authority to the GPS and didn't listen to their intuition?
So this is a very old list over here, and it's compiled by this news outlet, The Week, and it documents 8 different cases from 8 different countries over the years. And police in multiple different countries has, or did in the past, issue advisories to be like, hey guys, maybe don't just follow your GPS blindly. Maybe use your eyes. And these warnings, as said in this outlet over here, were from 2015. So that is 11 years ago. Oh my gosh. Where you used to use those Garmin or those TomTom things that you actually had to put on your car that you bought explicitly, and it wasn't just Google Maps or Apple Maps or whatever, on your phone. And I'm going to show you a clip here from The Office. This is where Michael Scott, he literally drove into the water making fun of this exact situation.
Turn.
Wait. No. It means bear right.
Dwight, it said go to the right.
It can't mean that. Gene,
This is the lake!
Stop yelling at me!
No, it's not yelling!
And the thing is, it's funny because we all kind of recognize it. And this is an explicit example of driving into the water. But I'm pretty sure you and I, or people who drive, have done this maybe on a little bit of a micro level. And the thing is, we were making comedy about it before we actually understood what was going on here. So, before GPS, if you drove somewhere unfamiliar, you would have to use the road signs and your eyes. And if something looked wrong, whether it's water or a dead end, or there's some random thing that you don't know what it is obstructing the road, you stopped. Because there was nothing else to consult. It was just you making an informed decision with the information that you have at hand. Your perception was the authority. Now, GPS, or the GPS systems that I'm talking about, they added another authority. And gradually, through years of this device being right, when you weren't sure if this is the exit lane or you got lost on a highway or motorway, whatever people call it overseas, the GPS knew how to get you home. And that built trust until it reached a tipping point. And this is the tipping point that I'm talking about now. That voice in the technology that told you to go straight when there was clearly a lake in front of you, did it outrank your perception? I think it did. But definitely for the peoples in those stories, the trust has been revoked. But for you and I who haven't had that experience, it still exists. So there's a well-cited study from UCL here, where researchers actually looked at taxi drivers. And taxi drivers in the past used to have to memorize these roads and where they go and how they all connect. and which one is a one-way and which one's not a one-way. They had all that memorized before these GPSs became on our phones and stuff, because they couldn't spend the extra, 5 minutes, 10 minutes opening up a map book to figure out where they were supposed to take people. They just knew in their heads. And what the study found is the hippocampus, which is a part of the brain. We're not going to go into too much detail about this, but it's the part that belongs to or is majority control of spatial navigation. And it found that taxi drivers actually have like a relatively bigger size than the average person like me, who has like zero spatial navigation skills. And the thing is, they found that the longer that these taxi drivers have been driving people around for, actually the bigger it was. And I know I'm making a little bit of a crass conclusion here, so bear with me. But the skill of navigating actually changed people's brains, which could mean, in theory, that the reverse may also be possible. A brain that never has to navigate maybe doesn't develop the capacity in the same way. And I'm not talking as if this is a metaphor. I'm talking on like a biological sense. Like I said, I know I'm blowing this out, but we're the first generation like to grow up, but not having to navigate ourselves like at all. Like, think about it now. This, like, going to a foreign country or to a place that you don't know, even if it's just a city down the road, the fear of not knowing where to go is kind of not there anymore. So long as you have an internet connection, you're confident enough that you'll be able to get around because of maps. And the thing is, GPS was where it started, but not where it ended. Calorie trackers, they tell you when you're full. Sleep apps, they tell you when you've rested enough. Heart rate monitors, they tell you when you're stressed. Mood trackers, they ask you how you feel, and then they reflect some sort of meaning back behind them. And in each of those cases, the same offer is being made. Here is an external objective measure of something that you used to know from the inside. And in each of those examples, the same question prevails. When the data and your direct experience of the situation disagree, which one do you land up trusting? For a lot of people, I think we've moved to the fact that they trust the data. It's clearly evident when we drive into lakes. So, there can be an argument made that says that cognitive skills work similar to physical ones. The ones that you use, they develop, and the ones that you don't may atrophy or die. So maybe spatial navigation is the current one that we're facing now, but what about hunger recognition or emotional self-awareness? And those skills, they require the capacity to read the situation directly, without some intermediate system, whether it's your phone or all this other kind of stuff, to tell you what it actually means or where to go. And these skills that are kind of being replaced, they require a level of practice. And, okay, we're at the early stages now of outsourcing them at scale. And I don't know, and most people don't know, what we will lose in 10 years' time when we're existing with these things. Because a generation that has grown up without actually needing them, well, they haven't grown up just yet, but they will in a few years. What happens then? There might be completely new skills that people in the past and that kind of replace those skills. Or we might actually find that we're lacking certain things. And we will only know that in the future, which in itself is a little bit eerie, no? Because the road, it was flooded. GPS said continue. The question that I'm asking is not why they continued. The question more that I'm poking at here is that what we've built in a technological sense, has it made us believe that continuing into the water actually felt like the reasonable thing to do? Because me, you, it was broad daylight. They could clearly see the road was flooded. So why was that okay? And it's not a trick question. It's not like a demarcating that someone did something wrong. It was just the fact that there's an authority that we give to these machines, and we say, you know what, they know better. And a flood is an obvious one, but what about all the ones that are less obvious? The ones where your intuition says, don't go there, but you're like, the GPS says I should go there, so you go there. I don't know. Anyway, all I have, not all I've got out of this, but what I have got out of thinking about this is how much I miss driving. I don't drive here in Europe, and I love driving. But anyway, it is Friday, so I hope you guys have a lovely weekend, and I'll check you on Monday. Also, no comments on my nail polish, I'm so sorry. I just, life.